Hello and welcome to the Hash. We hope you're having a good day. I know I am. I'm Zach Seward. We got Will Foxley, Naomi Brockwell, and Jen Sanasi here to get you up to speed on the latest in the wild world of crypto. All right, Will, you're going to start us off today. Now that you're a SHIB Army convert, you're gonna lead the way on this one, right? Okay,
that's right.
Take
Good
it away.
morning to all my Shiba Inu friends out there. There's a huge and amazing story right now about what Shiba Inu is doing to the entire cryptocurrency economy. It's flipping everything on its head, frankly. Dogecoin and Shiba flipped yesterday as Shiba Inu has just rose to the ranks in price. Its market cap is well over, what's that now, like $30 billion, something like that. Past Dogecoin, which is just incredible. Of course, Dogecoin is Elon Musk's favorite coin, but he hasn't tweeted about it in a while. So it hasn't been doing it as well until late last night, it did flip again. So there's a little bit of a dog battle going on right now. But the story of the day is about a wallet owner from August 2020 who purchased $8,000 worth of Shiba Inu when the Shiba coin first launched. And now he's a billionaire. That's how much he raked in. He owns about 12% of the supply of Shiba Inu, and he's just been hodling it. And now he's a billionaire. It's that easy to become that rich in America, apparently. Or I guess you could be anywhere in the world. Crypto is global. So pretty wild to see something like this happen. Shiba tokens, they make your dreams come true, make you a billionaire. Zach, I'm going to throw this to you. Are you a Shiba billionaire? Is this your wallet?
No, it's not me. No, not me. I don't even own one SHIB. So this guy, whoever this is, they're really doing well for themselves right now. I would get worried about like operational security around this guy, right? Like, I don't know, this like having large sums of this money out there, like known to the public. I always stand public documents. You know, I'm a big fan of public documents, but this gets a little scary when it's like, oh shit, this person has this much money here. Very curious for Naomi's thoughts on that one. But yeah, I don't know, man. The SHIB story is wild. And I think like these follow-on effects are really interesting as well, right? Like Will, I saw you were tweeting this morning about, you know, the SHIB rush leading to the burning of a lot of ether, right? So there's all these sort of like downstream effects when these meme coin things really hit a vortex of excitement and interest. I don't know. I kind of like did forks there. I don't know who I want to throw to from there, but Will, can you explain like the ETH thing that I just sort of like botched through? Because I know you looked into it a bit deeper than I.
Amazing. Yeah, I made a fantastic chart, but I just didn't feel confident enough to bring it to the show. But
bring
basically,
your chart anytime, Will.
Oh,
okay, I'll bring my chart.
Jen, number one chart shamer, Jen Sanasi.
Shitcoins and shit charts, Control says. That's loving. So what happens here is Shiba Inu is a token based on the Ethereum blockchain, while Dogecoin is its own independent coin. And so when you have a token based on Ethereum, it feeds back into the Ethereum economy. Every time someone transacts on Ethereum, it burns a little ether. That's why you kind of hear this calling of ether as gas. It's a gas token of the Ethereum blockchain. There's been so much demand for Shiba Inu and so much trading volume. In fact, yesterday it was double the amount of trading volume of both Bitcoin and Ethereum in one day, which is just a crazy amount of trading volume. It's like $25 billion in daily volume. And that pushed a lot of ether to be burnt. About 59 million ether were burnt just because of Shiba Inu tokens. Well, not totally because of Shiba Inu tokens, but a large amount of ether was burnt because of a good proportion. So that's kind of how that works out. And it's just funny to see like it's a meme coin and it's burning a ton of ether. It's weird to see that. Naomi, I want to throw this over to you though. Is this like has to like be up there for some of the silliest things you've seen in crypto over the years?
Yeah, I'm a little taken back. I'm not quite sure how to get my thoughts out this morning. So yesterday after we chatted about Shiba, I did get some hate mail from people saying some very nasty things because they have made a lot of money in SHIB. And so they're like, I've made a ton of money, whatnot. I have a tweet on my Twitter. I cannot, in good conscience, repeat it on this show because
Shiba,
we have may have delicate ears in listening. Nice. But I will say that, there's kind of this perversion in crypto that's happened, right? Early people in crypto, we've always been interested in price increases because it shows how valuable a decentralized form of money is becoming as more people dive into this economy and get out of the traditional fiat economy, because people see the devastating effects of bad government monetary policy, and so they dive into an alternative. So increasing price has always been at the forefront, but somewhere along the way, we've lost sight of what that crypto actually achieves, what value it actually brings us outside of just how much money it's getting on exchanges. And so when I see people pouring money into things like Shiba Inu and then making all this billions of dollars and then articles about it, it makes me worried, because it makes me think that we're just fueling this kind of gambling mindset. And people are going to look at this and say, okay, I just need to dive into random ass things in the crypto community and I too will become a billionaire. And it's this lotto dream, and it's really insidious. It grabs people because it's attractive. I look at something like this and I'm like, oh, I heard about Shiba early. I should have put in $8,000. But then you've got to stop yourself and be like, or I could put money into things that I believe in the long-term value of, that I think are helping society, that I think are helping come to fruition our decentralized dream. That's what crypto was. It was about taking power away from the traditional financial infrastructure and giving it back to the people. Now, you could say that Shiba Inu coin is all about that. It's the people's coin. And you have Elon Musk out there saying that, well, Doge is the people's coin. And people throw this terminology around. It's become such a buzzword because what is the use case of these things? I have to say it over and over again. If it's the people's coin, how are the people using it apart from speculation on exchanges? I want to see people using this stuff in their everyday life. If maybe this person who got $5.7 billion could start investing in infrastructure, it would make me a lot more interested, because maybe they can, build merchant platforms. Maybe they can, build all kinds of things that have utility in a decentralized world that gives people back control over their finances. As it is, it's just some crazy speculation. It makes me worried that people will watch this and want to dive in. I want to see people, have financial sovereignty and take control of the monetary future, not give it away to gambling dreams, right? This is about empowering people. There's a whole shitstorm going in the economy right now, like all monetary policy around the globe. We should be worried and we should be safeguarding ourselves and making good decisions. And these just seem like strange games that are going to entice the wrong kind of behavior. But I'll throw this to you, Jen.
Yeah, Naomi, I was just going to say, I completely agree with you. And you're so right. The narrative around crypto, I think for people, especially who are just getting into it and in the mainstream media, is that same narrative that you've just described. People ask me all the time, like and I know, Naomi, you've said this on the show before, they have random coins and they're like, I have this coin. Like, what do you think? And I'm like, first of all, I don't give financial advice. Second of all, my normal advice is probably not good either. And like, what are these coins? And so
you two are just like the fun police today.
It's frightening.
We're celebrating
it's
a new billionaire.
But I do have to say,
billionaire in the ranks from Shiba Coin.
It's true. That's
something to celebrate.
As I warned people against FOMO, I definitely had FOMO reading this story. I was like, $8,000? Like, I want to be a billionaire, but.
Okay, well, just remember, folks, Shiba is not an inflation hedge, all right? Shiba Inu, not an inflation hedge. Don't get wrecked. Stay safe out there. Now, let's talk about Tungsten. Let's go to the Cube.
Tungsten is an inflation hedge, maybe.
We like the Cube.
Look at the animation.
We like the Cube. This is the Cube NFT, first of all. So a couple weeks ago, the Cube started popping into consciousness among crypto traders and other crypto Twitter superstars. Danny Nelson, Coindesk reporter, was among the first to tell the unvarnished truth about the Cube. And it's since created sort of a follow-on effect. What we're looking at here is an NFT of the largest Tungsten Cube to be produced by Midwest Tungsten Service. They are an outfit in Illinois that has been really riding this wave of tungsten interest. But the thing about tungsten that's crazy is that it's surprisingly dense. It's really super duper heavy. So they're trying to make the biggest cube that they can make, but they can't ship it. So they're trying to sell it as an NFT, and the NFT comes with like visitation rights to your mega cube. And this NFT is currently going for about $200,000. I think $200,000 is like kind of around like the value of the materials involved and stuff. So could be like kind of a deal at that price point, but it's become this like status symbol of crypto Twitter superstars, to the point where today we saw a Wall Street Journal story trying to play catch up to the Cube story. And it's really fascinating. They did get a picture of beloved crypto Twitter personality Niraj of Coin Center gazing lovingly at his cube in his kitchen on his kitchen island. So
photo.
Anyway, it is a great photo. It's a fantastic
There's like a lot
photo.
of sexual tension in that photo.
There's some people are I don't know. It's a pure photo of someone appreciating their tungsten art. So it's good stuff. Art. It's really interesting to see that, again, we talk about sort of meme value. What's your meme strategy in crypto? All of a sudden, the element on the periodic table that goes by the letter W is also benefiting from some meme power in the real world as well. So, Will, I don't know if you've been following the tungsten phenomenon, which feels silly to say, but I'm very curious for your thoughts on the cube.
I'm just bummed I didn't get one earlier. I was looking at this when Coindesk first reported on it, and I was like, oh, maybe I should buy one. It's kind of like Shiba Inu. I was like, maybe I should buy this now. It's too late. Like, the price has gone up a ton to get these. I think that's been a big storyline for a lot of people, is acquiring a cube is just more and more costly. Nick Carter has been tweeting about this for like the last 3 years, which is like another strange and fascinating point about this whole meme. Is like it's been around for years, and then it's just like really blew up in the last 6 weeks, and I don't understand why. Lastly, I love that this is a 2,000-pound cube. That's all I have, though.
Yeah, it's a ton. It's a literal ton.
It's a ton of a cube.
I'll kick it up to you, Davey. I saw the cube on Twitter and I didn't understand what was going on. So Zach, thank you for helping me just a bit. And I think this is ridiculous and fun and shows again how the crypto community can really just gather around anything. And I love them for that. But Naomi, I'll kick it up to you.
I think it's I don't know. I find it hilarious. So we had like this Twitter joke where I think it was Niraj put out an article saying crypto traders to blame for global tungsten shortage, and then that further fueled this frenzy. And just kind of talking about, like, in response to that article, he says, I will take credit a little bit for the recent surge. I think it triggered to the rest of crypto Twitter. They're like, all right, we're doing something now. We're doing a thing. We're all buying these cubes. I love the way he phrased that, because that's exactly what it's like. When you see these things, you're like, oh, well, guess we're doing a thing. Let's all do the thing. And it happens all the time. This iterative culture we now have, whether it's with TikTok, where just someone does a weird dance and suddenly you have like millions of people doing a weird dance and they're just copying it. And it's just a thing. We iterate on things. It's this meme culture and I love it. I'm here for it. I think it's really beautiful to watch these things spontaneously emerge. And the tungsten thing, whether it was Nick Carter who created this or whether it was, was just collective mindset of crypto, it's kind of fun to watch. But let's go to break. Zach, what have we got coming up next?
After the break, we're going to go to marketing. We're going to look at the world of advertising. And there's this famous actor who is now advertising for crypto.com in a really high production value commercial. We'll tell you who that famous actor is after the break, so stick with us.
Coindesk Indexes, the market standard for crypto assets since 2014. Our trusted data powers billions in publicly traded funds. Coindesk Indexes are the standard used by institutions, and they're the key for investors looking to understand and access crypto markets.
Coindesk Bitcoin Price Index, XBX, has been instrumental to Grayscale, enabling investors around the world to access Bitcoin through a regulated, familiar product.
Coindesk Indexes enabled the early adopters to build crypto investment vehicles, and they're already trusted by a new generation of global investors.
Welcome back to The Hash, everyone. As we start off this segment, I do just want to do a little bit of a quick callback with this whole meme culture, maybe SHIB, the phenomenon we talked about at the start of the show, is just an extension of this meme culture. Everyone's doing a thing. Everyone's on SHIB now. So I do want to just kind of recognize that, but still be careful. So on to our next story. We've got some news from FATF. So June last year, you remember that FATF was going to be putting out some guidance about how crypto travel between entities needs to be surveilled by different countries around the world. And there was so much pushback from the crypto community that they had to stall that and get comments. And now they've finally come out with a revision of their rules. This is going to have dramatic effects on the crypto industry. So I'm sorry to bring a heavier, weighty topic after a much more fun show at the start. So basic takeaways from this, it's still far too vague. There's a lot of verbose language in there. There's not a lot of clarity. There's a long way to go. But the good news is that it has come a long way since the initial guidance, the draft that they put out over a year ago. So, there's a lot to work through. To just give some people background about what FATF is. So it's this international body. It's not any official organization. It's really just an agreement between different nation states about how, as a globe, they will regulate the transfer of money. It's an informal organization, but it has very sharp teeth. So if you do not comply with these guidelines that are not technically legally binding, then you'll be put on blacklists. There are sanctions. There are all kinds of things that can happen to you as a country. So what ends up happening is this informal organization that no one voted in does get to dictate a lot of the regulations around the globe. So it's a kind of perverse situation. I do want to kind of dive into like the good, bad, and ugly that Coin Center put out, but I will throw to the group just for initial takeaways from what you thought of all of this. Will, I'll throw to you to start off with. What's your takeaway here?
Yeah, so we've been waiting for guidance for quite a while, and there's been a lot of revisions over the years from the FATF. And this kind of interacts, like you said, with a lot of different countries and a lot of different jurisdictions are looking at this and saying, like, how do we operate with this new financial economy that's popping up? And the crypto industry to date has been pretty unfavorable towards any of the regulation that has come out of the FATF or any of like the written rules that they're trying to come up with. Because to my knowledge, a lot of this stuff hasn't quite passed yet. Some of it has in the past, but some of these new regulations are still being worked on and tinkered on. And crypto people, obviously, like they don't want to play ball with most of the stuff. The interesting thing to me was DeFi coverage. And they noted in it that anywhere that a DeFi team has the ability to touch something pertaining to like listing a token or listing a quasi security, they might call it, they would take notice with and they'd take issue with. That makes the issue for like Uniswap or maybe these front end providers that they create these dApps that operate uncensorable on a blockchain, but they have a forward facing part like a web interface. That makes it really tricky because how do you allow your product to work but not allow people to use it at the same time? So I think we're still going to see more regulation come out on DeFi going into the future. I have no idea what that's going to look like, though. I don't think regulators do either, and there's just going to be a lot of comments going back and forth on the topic. Jen, I'll throw it down to you.
Yeah, just on the DeFi topic, I pulled a quote from the guidelines, and they said it seems it's quite common for DeFi arrangements to call themselves decentralized when they actually include a person with control or sufficient influence. So I thought that was really interesting because we're talking about decentralization that and a lot of these DeFi outfits do have a person of control. And is this going to push people to really achieve that true decentralization that we talk about a lot on the show? And yeah, so just an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, just on the DeFi note, I'll dig into that a little bit. So they say in particular, any party profits from the service or has the ability to set or change parameters is still treated as potentially included in the definition of a VASP, which is terrifying. There's a puzzling section saying that, prior to the launch or use of the software platform, if you have the ability to take appropriate measures to manage and mitigate risks in an ongoing forward-looking manner, then you need to. So it's like even if you're creating an automated tool, individual. If you're the coder, then you're still included in these definitions, which is crazy. Coin Center is worried that this misinterpretation will lead to people being like coders being considered VASPs and treated as such, and that really violates the Constitution in the United States. It's freedom of speech to write code. So there's a lot of tricky and kind of scary stuff in here that hasn't been addressed. There are some weasel words like actively facilitates and may qualify, and they don't actually explain what they mean by these things. They kind of just throw in this vague language and keep it there. Some of the good things that I will mention, though, about this is that it removes all references to persons merely facilitating or governing transfers and instead focuses on people who control virtual assets. So that was a good improvement. Another good improvement is that it removed the vague term doing business development from the list of potentially qualifying activities, and it also clarifies that fees to miners and validators are not subject to the travel rule, which means that your tax information, all that doesn't have to be collected. But as Coin Center said, the changes don't go far enough. It's still an incredibly vague document. There's a lot of work to be done, and the silver lining out of this is that no changes need to be made in American law in order to accommodate this new FATF guideline, because law in America already basically falls in line with the guideline that they put out. So we'll see what happens here, but things are kind of heating up for the DeFi space in general. But I'll throw it to you, Jen, for the next story.
All right, we are heading into the wonderful world of advertising. And maybe while I read this intro, I don't know how prepared Control is, they can play a commercial. Oh, probably not at all. All right. Okay, so Crypto.com, they are spending $100 million to run a global campaign across 20 countries for several months. The campaign is called Fortune Favors the Brave and stars Matt Damon. It's also directed by Oscar-winning cinematographer Wally Pfister. So Crypto.com getting into the spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising. I know we've seen FTX spend a lot of money on advertising with really high profile celebrities attached to change. And so Crypto.com is following suit. Will, I'm kicking it down to you. What do you think of this Matt Damon partnership?
Crypto.com has done a lot of advertisements for the last few years, so they're pretty vocal when it comes to marketing campaigns. What this just makes me think of, since Crypto.com is an exchange and FTX is an exchange and Coinbase is an exchange, these are all the people who are doing the marketing stunts. They just have to make a lot of money. They make a lot of money on every trade and on the volume, and they're even cheaper than legacy systems. So that makes me think, like, how much are these legacy people making? Because they must be making like multiples more than the crypto people out there. Because like the trading volumes are lower necessarily, and especially like the fees you have to pay for trading. So that's what I think about when I'm looking at stuff like this. I bet the commercials are going to be kind of cool though. Matt Damon's pretty good. Naomi, what do you think about this?
I watched the commercial. It was pretty wild.
Oh, I didn't watch it yet.
It was a pretty wild commercial. Yeah,
Maybe
it's like he's like in this big like warehousey looking building, and there's all these like CGI things. And there's like a CGI like explorer, and then like a CGI like mountain climber, and then there's like astronauts. It's pretty crazy. It's very serious.
Do we have to watch the whole thing? Can we not give them just like free advertising? Let's play like 10 seconds and cut it off there. Otherwise, I might throw up.
10 seconds. Let's see 10 seconds.
Don't they sponsor the show?
Yeah,
sponsor something.
History is filled with almosts. With those who almost adventured, who almost achieved, but ultimately, for them it proved to be too much.
Not for Matt Damon, it didn't. He's aping all the way in. Fortune favors the bold.
Columbus?
I mean,
who was that?
It's pretty crazy. I don't know. It was a CGI explorer. But anyway, it's striking. It's striking to see that sort of like, whether it's like Major League Baseball or Matt Damon, like the career risk of doing crypto stuff, it seems to be waning. So like Matt Damon feels comfortable enough to take whatever check Crypto.com is giving him to go walk around in this crazy thing and talk about how great aping into crypto coins is. So I think that to me is like really the interesting thing, is that here we are in 2021, the mainstreaming of Bitcoin as an asset class, and all of a sudden mainstream figureheads in entertainment, sports, and beyond are comfortable associating with these exchanges. But Naomi, all you got it.
So I'm going to have a little bit more of a cynical approach to this. I have some real beef with Crypto.com. So
here we go.
I get emailed by them like every other week saying, "Hey, become an affiliate, pump our products, so you'll make all these returns." I don't do those on my channel, so I always politely decline. But I had a segment like 9 months ago. I was planning on putting it together about a product which they offered and which other platforms offer as well. And I was going to do like a comparison video. So I've been trying for 9 months to get an interview with them to actually explain a product. So for educational value, to show people, like, rather than just pumping money into advertising, actually explain to people how these things work, pros and cons. And for 9 months, they've repeatedly told me, "Oh, there's no one available who can, talk you through products," or "we just know." And it's like, if they have $100 million that they're spending on Matt Damon, maybe they can take some of that advertising money and actually put it towards educating people about how their products work. Because I've been going through their website trying to figure a lot of that stuff out, and I can't for the life of me, find a lot of the details, important details about their products that I'm after. So Crypto.com, if you're watching, put a little bit.
Call Naomi back.
I'm gonna give it to Zach to give our little disclaimer, but I'm like, I see things like this. I see companies who are putting so much money towards advertising and trying to reach out to affiliates so that they're just talking about their product, and they get like popular YouTube channels to just pump their stuff. I'm not a fan of that stuff. I hate when people do that. If you want to get people to use your stuff, actually provide value and educate people about how your product works. But Zach, the disclaimer.
Hell yeah. This disclaimer, Crypto.com. Hey, Jen, I got to give the disclaimer here, all right?
Jen,
come on.
really
this disclaimer is coming.
Really
Why are you stepping on me, dog? All right, so all that stuff that Naomi just said, disclosure, Crypto.com is a Coindesk TV sponsor. So she was pulling the punches on that one. So we need to hear the real dope on Crypto.com making Naomi grumpy. We'll hear that one day soon. But we bring it to you without favor or fortune, or whatever that saying is. But
my opinions are my own. Do not represent the Coindesk brand.
We need a grumpy Naomi meme.
Naomi. The good thing is now maybe you can ask for Matt Damon. You can say Matt Damon can come on and explain the product. What do you think?
Oh gosh, can you imagine getting one of these actors to come on as if they know anything about what they're talking about? Oh my god.
Maybe they do.
How do we
know? We could pivot this into like a late night talk show format where we get all like the crypto celebrities, and it would just be like Jimmy Fallon and
stuff. That'd be kind of fun. Cool. Listen, we get Taylor Swift on this show, I'm all in.
Taylor Swift is going to be doing an ad campaign for FTX like before you know it, probably next Tuesday. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. True. It's happening. All right, Jen, last thoughts.
I think, I'll let you take it home. There was a long thought that it's going to be just too long, and I'll be able to say it next time.
I'm sure it was great though.
All right.
It was.
All right. Well, you have to say it. You have to say it next time. All right. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for watching the Hatch today. That was a good time. Hopefully, we're back tomorrow. I bet we will be, but hey, you never know.
No, I'm off.
You might not have a sponsor.
Oh, you're off tomorrow? Okay, cool. Well, I'll be here. Oh wait.
Have fun on Friday.
It's gonna be crazy tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for sticking with us. This has been the Hash. We'll do it again tomorrow. Appreciate your time. Have a good one. Bye, folks.
Peace.